1962 war with China, India did not deploy the Air Force. There were no strategic missions that were carried out by the Indian Air Force, barring transport and supply missions. In 1962, Chinese Air Force was believed to be far superior. This became certainly one of the most important lessons India learned from the 1962 war. Today in 2023, Indian Air Force is not what it was 60 years ago. 36 Rafale fighter aircrafts, drills in air close to China border, and a force that has shown that it is ready to fly into enemy territory if the situation so requires. Prepared, professional, and forever patriotic. For example, India attempts to use information assertion now and the show of strength to show how Indian Air Force is stronger than ever before. Indian Air Force is set to carry out a major training exercise codenamed Trishul. This will be in the northern sector along the borders of China and Pakistan. All major fleets of fighter aircraft, including the Rafale, Mirage 2000, Su-30 MKIs, will be participating in the drills along with heavy lift transport aircraft and the choppers including Chinooks and Apache. Garud Special Forces are part of the drills too, where all elements of air power are likely to be exercised. So for the next 10 days, northern sector will be buzzing, which means including Ladakh, Himachal Pradesh, Jammu and Kashmir and Punjab. In the past few years, systems have been upgraded and new aircrafts have been added into the Indian Air Force fleet. India recently inducted 4 cutting-edge Heron Mark II drones. These are capable of neutralizing enemy targets and conducting surveillance and intelligence along both borders and in a single sortie. These drones are stationed at one of the forward air bases in the northern sector, providing a significant capability boost to the Indian Air Force. According to this report by India Today, these drones can be equipped with long-range missiles and other weapon systems as well, as per defense officials. Now, the most recent development, of course, is the transfer of technology route taken to India via United States of America. The aim of the deal is to make India self-reliant in terms of production of jet engines, which is why GE will manufacture the said engines with the Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. Under this deal, GE Aerospace will transfer 80% of technology to India for the production of F414 fighter jet engines. This features latest technologies to enhance engine performance, improve engine durability, and reduce the life cycle cost, which is the LCC, for current and future operators of next-generation combat aircraft. This engine will give the Indian Air Force aircraft the required speed and thrust to effectively deal with the Air Force's high demand of speed and efficiency, specifically of the light combat aircraft Mk2. Now, the GE 414 engine gives the aircraft extra thrust, which will of course be beneficial to the pilots. The manufacturing of these engines is going to take some time, perhaps for the next few years. So then what is the immediate effect of it? Defense deals can also signify diplomatic relationship. USA's transfer technology to India, which even America's closest allies have not got, is symbolic of improving ties between two nations, specifically at a time when there appears to be a Cold War kind of situation between America and China, and also India-China ties are not at its best. Past few years, India has focused on increasing indigenous manufacture. So in 2022, last year, Air Force inducted the first batch of Prachand, a domestically developed light combat helicopter, the LCH, manufactured by HAL. And that is not all. Women officers have been flying these choppers too. Speaking of women pilots, as 36 Rafale combat aircraft arrived in India, our women officers also got the training for it and are flying what is considered to be the most coveted profile in the Air Force. She is Rafale Squadron's first woman fighter pilot, Flight Lieutenant Shivangi, and is part of the Golden Arrow Squadron, was part also of the Indian Air Force contingent that participated in the exercise in France. There has been a lot of debate on the aging fleet of MiG-21 fighter aircraft, and now the Indian Air Force will place orders for around 100 additional light combat aircraft, LCA Tejas Mark 1A fighter jet from Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, the HAL. The decision, which is expected to boost the indigenous aerospace industry, eventually steadily replacing the MiG jets. You must know that India, which was once known for importing foreign aircrafts, now have Tejas Mk1A, first indigenously designed, aimed by other nations for export from India. This aircraft comes with air-to-air refueling, active electronically scanned array, and beyond visual range missile. Next step after this will be Mark II. Latest technologies in the Indian Air Force. Beyond aircrafts and engine manufacture comes associated technologies. Rajendra Radar, developed by DRDO, is a multifunction electronically scanned phased array radar. The primary sensor is at the troop level for Akash weapon system and has the capability to perform extensive search and also provide command guidance to the missile simultaneously. Artificial intelligence in the Indian Air Force. The future wars will most likely be unmanned. More than ground, it will be fought in other spheres. So big data analytics and AI platform has been commissioned by the Indian Air Force's AI Center. AI-based technologies will be used in war-fighting process and substantially enhance operational capabilities. In 2021, XR-SAM Indian Air Force and MR-SAM missile system, the Indian Air Force received first medium-range surface-to-air missile, which is the MR-SAM system, which can destroy aircraft from a distance of about 110 kilometers and is capable of launching 24 missiles on 16 targets simultaneously. Jointly developed by Defense Research and Development Organization, which is the DRDO, with Israel's aerospace industries in line with Make in India mantra, is aimed at self-reliance in defense production. There is also the advanced shaft technology. It incorporates about countermeasure dispensing system, the CMDS, which provides passive jamming against infrared and radar threats. These act as decoys, distract and deflect the missiles fired by the enemy fighter jet, hence ensuring the safety of our fighter aircraft. Amid all this, geography and terrain can play an important role to even use all of this technology. Defense experts have pointed out of India having a strategic advantage of elevation in our topography. That is to fly aircrafts with more payload for India compared to China, which has air bases on a higher altitude. India is surrounded with two neighbors, Pakistan and China, that have constantly provoked and tried to interfere in our internal affairs. Indian soldiers have always strongly defended our territory, even when they did not have the best resources earlier. So I hope our soldiers will always have the world-class quality equipment to support their courage. And our policymakers will ensure the country's borders will have the infrastructure and logistics to keep us all safe. Thank you for watching. So that is all about the Indian Air Force that's trying to constantly ensure that it is at par with all other nations, specifically those that are trying to provoke and incite India consistently. Stay tuned, because coming up next with Jessica Goyal is what's happening in India today.
One nation, one election. सिर्फ एक चर्चा का विषय नहीं है, बल्कि ये भारत की जरूरत है.
One nation, one election. Now, this is something that you're going to keep hearing over the next few months. The government has also constituted a committee headed by former President of India, Ram Nath Kovind, in order to explore the possibility of one nation, one election. So what does it entail and what will really change? Right now, elections to the state assemblies and the Lok Sabha are held separately after the 5-year term of the incumbent government ends or if it is dissolved due to various reasons. But with one nation, one election, simultaneous elections for Lok Sabha and state assemblies will be held across the country. This isn't a new idea, by the way. Simultaneous elections for the state assemblies and the Lok Sabha were a norm in India till 1967. However, things changed when some legislative assemblies were dissolved prematurely in 1968 and 1969 and the Lok Sabha in 1970. Now, those who are supporting it say that a major benefit would be cutting down of costs involved in the elections. As per reports, rupees 60,000 crore was spent on the 2019 Lok Sabha elections. Supporters argue that it will increase efficiency in the administrative setup throughout the country since it slows down considerably during the polling. Normal administrative duties are affected by elections as officials engage in polling duties. It will also help ensure continuity in policies and programs. Currently, the Model Code of Conduct is imposed whenever elections are set to take place, putting a ban on the launch of new projects for public welfare for that period. On the other hand, this will require constitutional amendments to, for instance, the Representation of People Act as well as other parliamentary procedures. There is a worry that regional issues might get overshadowed by the national issues, affecting the electoral outcome at the state level. Further, a study conducted by IDFC Institute in 2015 found that there is a 77% chance that voters will choose the same winning political party or alliance in the State Assembly and the Lok Sabha if elections are held simultaneously. Now, with the special session in sight, the government might introduce One Nation, One Election bill. Is One Nation, One Election an idea whose time has come? What do you think? Let us know in the comments below. That's all that we have for today. Thank you for watching.
For more informative videos like this, keep watching India Today Newsmo.